Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave,
Please join me in prayer. Holy One of many names, in whom we live and move and have our being, we thank you for this beautiful moment, a moment just vibrating with energy and opportunity. We come to you in this moment with deep gratitude in our hearts for all the gifts that you have given us, which have allowed us to arrive at this special day, a day of recognition of hard work, the honing of skill and craft, and a celebration of dreams realized. We give thanks for giving each of the graduates here today the integrity, sense of purpose, and strength to run this arduous race. We give thanks for their courage to follow their vision and see it to fruition. And we ask that you give these individuals and their families and loved ones the strength to continue on whatever journey stretches before them. And God, with deep remembrance of those who began the journey with us but are no longer here, we pause for a moment to remember Georges Saint-Laurent, 2016, biology, Doctor of Philosophy. God, for your many gifts, we give you thanks. For this moment, we give you thanks. Help us to turn our hearts toward you in all that we do. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to this grand convocation. I'm Peter Weber, I'm Dean of the Graduate School, and it is my privilege to preside as we confer doctoral degrees for Brown University. I would like to begin by saluting the candidates. Ascendant means rise. Today, we recognize your dedication and your achievements. But I also welcome your parents, spouses, partners, and children of the graduating students. Would you please rise? Let's give them a hand. And finally, I want to recognize your faculty advisors and mentors. Will the faculty please stand? Please be seated. Next, allow me to introduce the platform party. On your far left is Associate University Chaplain, the Reverend Kirsten Boswell Ford, from whom we just heard. Next is Associate Dean Elizabeth Harrington of the Division of Biology and Medicine. Marlena Duncan, Associate Dean for Diversity Initiatives at the Graduate School. Together, Marlena and Beth will present the dissertation awards today. She's followed by Sam Menkoff, a member of the Brown Board of Fellows and alum of the undergraduate class of 1978. Mr. Menkoff will confer the degrees on behalf of the university. Also among our esteemed guests is this year's Horace Mann Medal recipient, Dr. Sridhar Ramaswamy, PhD of 1995. All right, so we'll get to all these things in due sequence here. But first we start with our student's choice. Our student speaker is Matthew James Litton, chosen by the Graduate Student Council to address today's graduates at this ceremony. Matt will today receive a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Political Science. He holds both a Bachelor of Arts and a Master's of Arts from Cardiff University. Here at Brown, he served as the President of the Graduate Student Council. His address is entitled On Making It and What to Make of It. Matt?
Yeah, Matt!
Thank you, Dean Weber. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Menkoff, Dean Weber, members of the faculty, friends and family, fellow graduates, fellow doctors. I'm still getting used to that. What a beautiful morning this is, and what an amazing gathering. I'm extremely grateful to my peers in the Graduate Student Council for giving me the high honor of speaking to you today, and for the privilege of taking in this remarkable view. Friends, there is now no question that we have indeed earned these stripes, and they look great on us. Congratulations. We made it. But what is it that we made? Well, maybe you're familiar with some tongue-in-cheek interpretations of the letters we've earned, of PhD as piled higher and deeper, for example. Philosophically disturbed, or as a colleague once warned me, permanent head damage. We might laugh at these, maybe even wince a little, but the letters also appear in the word pathfinder, a word that captures some of the richness of the experience we have just completed. What do I mean? Well, whether we work in the lab or the library, whether we grapple with numbers and data or meaning and interpretation, we each have a tale to tell of facing the challenges and opportunities for self-growth, motivation, and discovery, and of an exploration of ourselves as well as our subject matter. In so many ways, we have remade ourselves as scholars, innovators, teachers, and mentors. So today symbolizes the culmination of narratives far deeper and far richer than the already impressive dissertations we've written. I suppose this is often something that we try and capture in our written acknowledgements. Well, my friends, today is a day to acknowledge ourselves, too. We made it, and we made it here, in this special place, and among a special group of people. How should that experience shape our future conduct? Well, that's where I'm going over the next few minutes. So let's appreciate the journey we've just completed and consider the great opportunity and responsibility we have to all those we will lead, teach, and mentor in the days and years ahead. Think back to your arrival at Brown. 5, 6 years ago, maybe more. How did it feel? Maybe you felt some newness and the uncertainty in the path that now lay ahead of you. The sacrifices in time and in income, because nobody came here to get rich on a grad student stipend. The commitment to deep study and sustained research, and the newness and uncertainty of being a new kind of student, one who is also a researcher, a teacher, an advisor, and a professional communicator. As I recall my arrival in Providence nearly 7 years ago, I remember feeling both inspired and intimidated. Inspired because Brown University had chosen me, a young man from a tiny corner of South Wales, well-credentialed, but not of academic lineage. intimidated not least because I was first in my family to go to college. That's what the blue coat is for, by the way. I was unschooled in the who's, how's, and wherefores of academia. So there was nothing but newness and uncertainty here for me. And there was even more of it for others, not least because so much of the academy still today looks and sounds an awful lot like me. Our experiences can tell us something about what is incumbent upon us once the hoods are upon our shoulders and the diplomas are in our hands. I'll tell you what that looks like for me, and maybe that'll strike a chord with you. First, though, something for our friends and family. I want to offer a whistle-stop tour through graduate school. We fielded your interested questions at so many holiday gatherings. What is it you're doing again in school? You're still in school? What are you going to do with this again? I'm still working on that last one, folks. But what are we going to do with it? Friends, while you're pondering that, here goes for our friends and family. Graduate school in 5 easy steps. First, the coursework. We spend a couple of years taking advanced classes, finding our feet, and getting to know our fields in great depth, trying to make it through gargantuan reading lists, that millionth problem set, or endless lab prep. Eventually, we began to speak with authority and confidence. Then came qualifying or comprehensive exams, an exacting, sometimes brutal rite of passage, where we each showed mastery of a body of knowledge and the skill sets crucial to our field. Then the research. Onward we forged, through the experiments, the advisor meetings, and oh yes, the writing. Oh boy, the writing. Comp answers, lab reports, book reviews, grant applications, dissertation proposals, chapters, abstracts, you name it, we wrote it. All the while we were learning to teach and present. Communicating is not as easy as it sounds, especially to curious, expectant audiences. Through TA assignments, conference presentations, workshops, and more, we learned to shape the knowledge we create, to make it exciting and accessible to others. And lastly, this wasn't all plain sailing. We had our obstacles, the moments less pleasant to recall, the self-criticism, that patron nemesis of scholarship, imposter syndrome, with its why am I here and how the heck am I still here questions. That dizzy moment of somebody else wrote the book I was writing. This is horrible. Wait, maybe this is validating. No, it's horrible. Well, my friends, here's to all of those beasties, because wherever and whenever they came at us, we prevailed. And they did not stop us reaching this moment. So we made it. We're here. Our paths in graduate education have reached their destination. What should we make of that? Well, we can start by asking ourselves what parts of our journey we're most thankful for right now. I am especially grateful for 3 things. First, fellowship and community. We each made it through the graduate school journey with the camaraderie and support that we gave one another. Fellowship like nothing but shared endurance can create. In study groups, peer mentoring, student community meetings, and, of course, just pure good fun. At GSC socials, board game nights, Poor Sox games, and at the GCB. Many times. I am thankful personally for the friends I gained and the ways that I grew during my service on the Graduate Student Council, advocating for graduate student concerns across the university. This and everyone I worked with nurtured my confidence and my determination to push through institutional change. Second, I'm grateful for an expanding consciousness of privilege and inequity. It's pretty clear now to all of us that Brown, like other institutions, has work to do to live up to its best ideals and achieve a more inclusive environment for all. This is a dynamic place, due in no small part to the dynamic and dedicated people among us who challenge all of us to think critically about what we do and how we do it. I personally have learned from so many who have raised and highlighted the experience of underprivileged and marginalized Brunonians. They, and some of my fellow scholars, have taught me more than I ever knew I needed to know about power, privilege, race, gender, and class in the United States and beyond, about the importance of really seeing and hearing others, and of learning to be a better ally, Learning which is my responsibility, our responsibility, not theirs. I am also a scholar of democratic citizenship, and my work would be poorer were it not for their example and insight. Third, I will be forever grateful for the privilege of learning to teach here. Brown is where I uncovered my vocation and ignited my passion for education. I had never thought of myself as a teacher. So when our bright, motivated, and curious undergrads uncovered me as one, it was to more than a little surprise on my part. Their questions have deepened my knowledge and understanding. They have challenged me to explain better, advise better, and occasionally to speak slower. Many have taught me things about myself, not least the first-gen students at Brown, to whose example, inspiration, and generosity I owe more than I could ever say. I will treasure my adventures on College Hill as a teacher in training for the rest of my days. So what do I make of that? Fellow doctors, as we prepare to leave this special place, we have a responsibility to think about our experience and about how the paths we forged will now become part of the ground onto which others will venture after us. In light of this, I ask you today to consider making two commitments. First, learn from the worst and the best of your journey through graduate school. Take the worst, the saddest, the most frustrating, and the least helpful. Acknowledge it and heed its lessons. Share the learning and the struggle, not the darkness. Take the best, the most inspiring, the most motivating moments, those moments when you felt the pulse of your agency, treasure and build from it. Share the greatness of your journey of inquiry. Be frank about the obstacles, but give due respect to the passion which drove us and will drive others to tackle them and to reach this stage. Second, be the best of your mentors. I hope all of us have known mentorship at its best, whether in our formal advisors in the amazing Brown faculty or in other confidants. We should look to these for our example. Be that person, that leader, that boss, that advisor, who finds their charges a shortcut to clarity and progress, who knows where the potholes are and will share enough of their own experience to point them out. Now, I'm not saying here that we should work to eliminate struggle entirely. That would be absurd. Struggle can be productive, revelatory even. The pursuit of knowledge is, after all, a crucible, and it ought to be. But a crucible is for refining ideas, for burning away conjecture and speculation. It is not for burning away people's spirit or their hope. There will always be rites of passage in this, as in other professions. But we must avoid treating those rites that we have undergone as fixed and merely reproducing them. We know better than that. Rigor is not the enemy of compassion, and we should avoid making it so in our practice, in our debates, and in our leadership. This is true of tomorrow's faculty, deans, and researchers, and its consultants, industrial scientists, and museum curators. We will all find ourselves guiding the experiences, learning, and growth of others. So it's incumbent upon us to be intentional in driving change and supporting those who come after us, especially when they don't look like us and have lived lives very different from ours. For now, though, today, we must celebrate this moment and the people who've aided us in reaching it. On behalf of the graduates gathered here, I offer our appreciation for the advisors, mentors, and friends in our faculty and staff who've accompanied us and guided us along this journey. To our friends, family, and loved ones, we offer thanks for the blessings we've found in your boundless love, encouragement, and faith, and the occasional reality check. We forged our own paths with all of you. And though the journey may have been solitary, painfully so at times, we were never alone. Lastly, I thank you, my friends and colleagues, for the immense privilege of having learned and grown in your country. Enjoy this special day. You've earned it. I wish you fair skies and interesting journeys. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. We now turn to the Tchaikovsky Family Foundation Dissertation Prizes. These prizes are named for the Tchaikovsky family, which has been so generous to the university. Will members of the Tchaikovsky family please rise? Let's give them a hand. Artie, Martha. With these prizes, we recognize outstanding achievement in research by PhD recipients in the humanities, the life, the social, and the physical sciences. Recipients of the awards were nominated by their departments, and final selections were made by the Graduate Council, a body that includes faculty members, deans, and graduate students. So it is my pleasure to introduce Marlena Duncan and Beth Harrington, who will confer these awards.
Thank you, Peter. I'm honored to present these awards for outstanding scholarly achievement and will draw from nomination letters and abstracts to describe the achievements of the recipients. The winner of the Tchaikovsky Dissertation Prize in the Humanities is Francesca Inglese, who's receiving her PhD in ethnomusicology. Her thesis examines contemporary minstrel troupes in South Africa. Her work is entitled Colored Moves and Klapsa Beats, Minstrel Legacies in Cape Town, South Africa. This interdisciplinary work focuses on multi-generational clubs that parade each January as part of a minstrel carnival and stage competitive arena performances during the following 2 months. Francesca found that Klapsa has proliferated among working-class Christian and Muslim-colored Cape Townians, an apartheid-era racial classification, and that governmental support has increased to support it as a heritage practice, and one that could perhaps interest tourists. Her ethnographic fieldwork among the Cape Town community that teach and perform Klapsa required political acumen and courage, according to her nominators. Her work describes the complexities of the political energies in the post-apartheid era. She also brings the study of minstrelsy in a new direction and by bringing it into line with transatlantic and transnational perspectives. Because the festival she was studying included dance and parades, she participated in a Mellon summer seminar on dance and developed her theoretical knowledge in that area. Her dissertation employs this theory to consider the significance of movement and mobility in these performances and its relation to history of government-mandated rezoning and population displacement. She is the recipient of several grants, including the Society for Ethnomusicology 21st Century Fellowship, the Rooflands Memorial Research Fund, and an American Association of University Women Dissertation Completion Fellowship. Francesca will begin a 2-year Mellon postdoctoral fellowship at Dartmouth in September. Congratulations, Francesca. The Tchaikovsky Dissertation Award in the Life Sciences is awarded to Hillary Elaine Nicholson, who is receiving her PhD in molecular pharmacology and physiology. Her thesis advances knowledge of sigma-2 receptors, which are present in a variety of cancerous tissues. The work is entitled A Matter of Life and Death, Novel Ligands Mediating Cytotoxic Function and Revealing Metabolically Stimulative Functions of sigma-2 Receptors in Human Cancer. This research demonstrates that sigma-2 receptors can be used to selectively target cancer cells for cell death without significantly harming non-cancerous cells. Her work covers a variety of cancers, including the aggressive triple-negative breast cancer, as well as pediatric neuroblastoma. Importantly, her novel therapeutic agents may require less frequent dosing and could have fewer side effects than traditional chemotherapy. Moreover, Hillary has identified what appears to be previously unknown roles for sigma-2 receptors in cellular metabolism. As one nominator writes, this pioneering work transforms the way the field thinks of these proteins and challenges our existing dogma with regard to the pharmacological classification of drugs at these proteins. 2 chapters of her dissertation have already been published in the Journal of Pharmacology and Experimental Therapeutics. She has presented data at 12 national conferences, such as the American Association for Cancer Research and Society for Neuroscience. The first chapter of her dissertation will serve as a basis for an invited review on sigma-2 receptors in the high-impact journal Nature. Hillary was awarded the Brown Chapter of Sigma Xi Prize in the Pharmacia Fellowship. She has been active at the university, serving on the Graduate Council, the Nominations Committee of the Graduate Student Council, the Honorary Degree Advisory Committee, the Board of Trustees Young Alumni Selection Committee, and the College Curriculum Committee. How do you have time to do research? Off campus, she volunteers as a regional coordinator for Science Cheerleaders, an organization of current and former NBA, NFL, and collegiate cheerleaders with advanced degrees in careers in STEM. She participates to help break down stereotypes about what it means to be a female scientist and to encourage young people to pursue STEM fields. In June, she will begin a postdoctoral research fellowship at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute at the Harvard Medical School in Boston, and will be working with William Kalin. Congratulations, Hillary. The Joukowsky Dissertation Award in the Physical Sciences goes to Ayumun O, PhD in Mathematics. The thesis is entitled Multi-Parameter Commuters and New Function Spaces of Bounded Mean Oscillation. Ayumun specializes in the area of mathematics known as Fourier analysis, a field of mathematics that is concerned with how to represent functions in terms of similar components and how to use information about this decomposition to infer properties of the original function. Fourier analysis is the mathematics involved in signal analysis and image recognition. Her recommenders describe her work as on the theoretical side of this field. Each of her papers contains new and significant theorems that advance this field. Ayumun's first paper establishes a new boundedness criterion for a large class of bioparameter singular integral operators, overcoming several technical obstacles to do so. She developed and used the notion of B-adaptation martingales, which was also new in the multi-parameter setting. This work was published in Transactions of the American Mathematical Society. She also collaborated with other mathematicians, including Francesco Di Plinio Tumarkin, assistant professor at Brown University. Their first paper develops tools that should have wide use in the field. Indeed, her recommenders said her thesis contains important theoretical discoveries that were unexpected and open up new research directions. Ayumun has accepted a fall appointment as a CLE Moore instructor in the Department of Mathematics at MIT. In the spring of 2017, she will be a postdoctoral fellow at Mathematical Sciences Research Institute in Berkeley, California. Congratulations, Ayumun. The Joukowsky Dissertation Award in the Social Sciences goes to Bhawani Bushwala, PhD in Anthropology, for his exploration of the everyday work and life of the Dalits in contemporary India. His dissertation is entitled The Bazaar and the Butchers, the Social Life of an Untouchable Work in North India. Based on 2 years of fieldwork, this ethnographic study examines the social life of Khatit butchers in an urbanizing village in Rajasthan. According to the Hindu social order, Khatits are untouchables, and the high caste often refer to the slaughtering of animals as murder. Bhawani examines the implications of such dominant ideas on butchers' marginality. His research also indicates a newly formed identity of the Khatit women who are increasingly being excluded from what earlier used to be a shared occupation in domestic spaces. This work on the status of the Dalits and changing within their communities offers an insider's perspective. His dissertation provides a voice to a group that is trying to redefine who they are and help to fill a void of scholarship on untouchables. As a recommender noted, this rigorous dissertation has the narrative punch and conceptual potential to achieve a broad impact within the discipline and beyond, including possibly reaching a readership outside of academia. He is the recipient of a National Science Foundation Doctoral Dissertation Improvement Grant and a Wiener-Gren Foundation Dissertation Fieldwork Grant. At the American Anthropological Association annual meeting, he served as a panel chair on Working the Margins, Struggling for Livelihood. In July, he begins an appointment as postdoctoral associate and lecturer in South Asian Studies at the Whitney and Betty Macmillan Center for International and Area Studies at Yale University. Congratulations, Bhawani. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Marlena and Beth, and thank you to the Tchaikovsky family for these awards, and to the recipients, all congratulations for their outstanding scholarship. All right, we now turn to the Horace Mann Medal. This award was established in 2003 and is given annually to a Brown Graduate School alumnus or alumna who has made significant contributions in his or her field inside or outside of academia. It is with great pleasure that I call this year's Horace Mann Medal recipient, Sridhar Ramaswamy, to the podium to receive the honors. Sridhar, stand here. Dr. Ramaswamy received his PhD in computer science in 1995, coming to Brown with a bachelor's degree from the Indian Institute of Technology in Madras. He's gone on to pursue a career in research with patents and publications that influence fields, and to industry where he helps to shape online commerce. Drawing from nomination letters from the Department of Computer Science and from his former colleague, Sheryl Sandberg, now the CEO of Facebook, we are able to see a career that reflects both Brown's culture and the transformational impact of computing and data analytics in today's society. After receiving his doctorate, Dr. Ramaswamy began his research career at Bell Corp and then at Bell Labs. While at Bell Labs, his papers provided the first efficient algorithm for mining outliers in large data sets. This is considered a pioneering contribution in the field. In 1999, during the heady dot-com boom, he moved to Silicon Valley. He worked at Epiphany, a customer relationship management software startup. And then in 2003, he moved to Google, where he began as a software engineer and quickly was promoted to vice president of engineering. In 2013, a decade after joining Google, he was named senior vice president for ads and commerce. Thus, the student known for being a deep thinker who attacks difficult problems and develops innovative methods is now in a position to influence at a company with 60,000 employees and a global online presence. Google has revolutionized the online advertising business by using innovative methods to make online advertising relevant to users and cost-effective for marketers. Ads and commerce generates the lion's share of revenue at Google, and that's a lot. It encompasses a number of businesses, including search advertising, display, video advertising, Google Shopping, and Android Pay. His innovations include the creation of online auction models with highly precise ad targeting, the development of a scientific framework and platform for understanding how website layouts and user interface components impact the monetization of ads, and the building of leading ads quality systems at a global scale. With a keen awareness of security issues, he has been instrumental in Google's efforts to fight bad actors in the advertising space. Under his leadership, Google has developed robust platforms and systems that allow reliable, global, fast, 24/7 operation. As one nominator put it, he's relentless in his pursuit of scalable, reliable systems and challenges the status quo at every opportunity, creating some of the big infrastructure building blocks that power Google today. He and his team have built database systems that provide data analysis tools for advertisers, and here, this is the very important part. He talks openly about his approach and the architecture, as well as other trends in the industry. His contribution to public discourse and sharing of information could benefit and will benefit the broad computer science research community. So we're delighted that Dr. Ramaswamy remains connected to Brown University, working with the computer science faculty to reimagine the undergraduate and graduate curricula. He also serves on the inaugural cohort of the Computer Science Advisory Board. Today, then, it is my distinct pleasure to acknowledge Dr. Ramaswamy's contribution with this, the 2016 Horace Mann Medal. Thank you. We now turn to the conferral of the degrees.
Sokai Honorandi, Homenes ad Guadum, in Philosophia Doctoris Idoneos Comperimus, vobis presentamos et eos ad hum gradum primavere ligeat rogamus. Candidati ad gradum in Philosophia Doctoris ascendant. Actoritate mihi commissa, vos ad gradum in Philosophia Doctoris admitto, omniaque jura ac privilegia ad hu gradum pertinentia vobis concedo, quare in testimonium haec diplomata vobis solemniter trado.
Please be seated. I have the honor to present the recipients of the Doctor of Philosophy degree of Brown University. The first degree to be awarded today is a posthumous degree. This year, we lost a doctoral student on the cusp of his dissertation defense in molecular biology, cell biology, and biochemistry. To honor the accomplishments that he has already made, Brown University posthumously awarded him the degree of Doctor of Philosophy to George Saint Laurent. Accepting the degree is William Saint Laurent, his brother. William? All right, and now we go. Our first degree, Anne Caroline Seifert. All right, over here. Matthew James Liddon. Joseph Kofi Francis Aqua. Adeola Adebayo. Natalie Anna Adler. Nabahar S. Aga. Riza Agajani. Sun Min An. Carla Andrea Alberti Chesta. Juliette Marie Alimena. Ayed Mamdou Alozi. Anna Arezi. Ali Biljin Arslan. Chi Wong Bang. Olivia Spencer Bean. Aaron Vincent Berard. Saptaparna Bhattacharya. Anna Fiona Bialek. Ian Gordon Blackadder. Maria Jose Bocardi Chalela. Adrian Gopnik Bondi. Molly Elizabeth Bouton. Benjamin Martin Wilhelm Brandt. Monica Cecilia Bravo. Brian C. Brinkman. Carita L. Brown. Bhavani Kuswala. Desislava Emilova Bayanova. Ryan Payne Cabin. Ryan Mark Carney. Christopher Henry Carr. Mark Jonathan Satulia. Yiming Chen. Zhuo Chen. Michael Chonghoon Chon. Nathaniel Allen Conroy. Jason Matthew Dahl. Amanda L. Davis. Mingi Deng. Diego Felipe Diaz Rioseco. Michael Dickerson. Lauren G. Dobson. Pierre Dominguez. Marco Donato. Zachary Peter Dorner. Marius Dräger. Muge Doruzo Raniover. Alexander James Ebli. Nicholas James Edwards. Andrew Thomas Elzinga. Christopher Daniel Erb. Filomena Fantarella. Anna Letitia Fowry. Sachelle Marie Ford. Neil Patrick Fox. Lachlan Franquemont. Philip Galligan. Jan, go. Alex Edward Garabidian. Bruno Casperini. Serena Aram Gavuga. Daniel Edward Gerbic. David Patrick Glancy. Michael Philip Godfrey. Stephen Richard Gomez. Linda Mary Reagan Gosner. Rachel Gostenhofer. Carmen Cecilia Granda. Catherine Jennifer Grive. Shinjun Guo. Liam S. Hamoudi. Magnus Farrow Hansen. Morgan Lillian Hardy. Catherine Brenna Harrington. Xian Hu. Rebecca Ray Helm. Kyle Robert Helson. Benjamin I. Holzmann. Lian Yuan Hu. Chi Wong. Michael Claude Hughes. Jacqueline Bernadette Hines. Francesca Inglese. Tanya Marie Jenkins. Don Jing. Lauren Margaret Shosbiak. Sarah Katkodai. Megan Elizabeth Kalman. Mert Kimya. Hayalohu Niapuna Kini. Kipruto Kirwa. Kang Hyuk Ko. Jacob S. Kumar. Amanda Rochelle Krause. Madison Ski Krieger. Helene Kuhn. Joseph James Kurtz. Benjamin William Legg. Mark Liserson. Andrew Evan Leeson. Liwei Chim Liu. Pei Liu. Lu Lu. Yao Lu. Siltra Mel. Elizabeth J. Macretis. Nazar Mamidov. Rebecca Mason. Sarah Marie Matheson. Sean William McNeil. Rishuta Mita. Angelika Meinhofer. Hammurabi das Chagas Mendes. Adriana Maria Mendoza Garcia. Xiangling Meng. Marissa Ruth Meucci. Brandice Latoy Monk Payton. M. Willis Monroe. Daniel Patrick Moriarty III. Michael D. Morse. Matthew John Mulcahy. John Murillo III. Andrew James Norton. Garrett Thomas Niski. Edward S. Newkirk. Hillary Elaine Nicholson. Jessica Catherine Nolan. Kaiohei Onobe. Sarah Michelle Osmond. Yu-Ming Oh. Jason L. Pacheco. Dimitra Papagiannopoulou. Genevieve Marie Patterson. Fei Pei. Rachel Severin Philbrick. Brooks Pierce Proctor. Yang Chu. Heather Fawn Randall. Megan Riley. Ji Ren. Annette M. Rodriguez. Guangdong No. Sarah Catherine Rovang. Emily Russo McIntosh. Aslas Shaheen. Piyu Kaur Sani. Micah Eli Salkind. Cara Jean Sammartino. Manuel Alejandro Sanchez Uribe. And Catherine Eugenia Saunders. Kathleen Elizabeth Scanlon. Victor Thomas Schmidt. Robin Schrader. Cosima Shank. Francisco M. Shunk. Daniela Shida. Jason Michael Shimeka. Anastasia Selemeneva. Stephanie Alicia Sevchek. Kai Shimizu. Ravi Shankar Singh. Son Gilho. Jonathan Edward Socek. Yana Gentrova Steinova. Libin San. Stephen Robert Sobrick. Mustafa Tali. Ingrid Carolina Toba-Thommer. Nathaniel Albert Trask. Adrienne Marguerite de la France Trois. Peter Hing Bun Sang. Onur Khan Oluzel. Margaret May Vantanguli. Jeffrey Allen Vargish. Sugita Vasudeva. Clive Vella. James Richard Verbus. Zachary Michael Weiner. Lie Wang. Zhong Ying Wang. Aaron Quinn Weinstein. Jennifer Christine Wells. Lawrence Philip Otino Weir. Satreo Adi Vikaksono. Lisa Barclay Williams. Shinda Wu. Li Heng Wu. Shuolin Xie. Hyung-Tru Yang. Yoongi Yoon. Stephen L. Young. Carlos Ernesto Yoshimoto del Valle. Reed Chang. Yuan Cheng. Reiki Chao. Wan Chao. Wenlei Shu. James Timothy Dillon II. Starikov Konstantin. William P. Tatum III. Xiang Hao. Mr. Menkoff, I wish to report that 34 students have completed their degree requirements and have permission to receive their degrees in absentia. Will all doctorate degree candidates please rise?
Videte igitur, uprobe integreque, in a monumentum rei publicae et in Dei honorum, udecet eos hoc gradu honoratus, vosceratus, sedete doctoris in philosophia. Congratulations to all on this wonderful occasion on receiving your doctorate degrees.
So congratulations. I'd like to thank Mr. Sam Menkoff, my fellow deans, and the terrific staff of the graduate school, in particular Beverly Ledbetter, for help in making this such a successful event. As you go out into the world to serve in the roles of Brown's Charter with usefulness and reputation, as postdoctoral fellows to work in government, the private sector, nonprofit organizations, and as faculty in colleges and universities around the world, I ask you to remain connected to Brown as loyal alums. You are now, and you will always remain, an integral part of the university and its traditions. I now proclaim auctoritate mihi commissa declaro ceremonia terminata. Congratulations. The doctoral ceremony has now concluded and only the singing of the alma mater remains. After this rendition, we ask graduates, family, and guests to stay where they are until the platform party and faculty have left the tent. Interested graduates, that's you, are invited to the university ceremony, which begins at 12:45 on the main green. There are seats reserved for you, and they're in section 5 for you. Okay, and I invite the Jabberwocks back to the stage then for the alma mater.
Alma mater, we hail thee with loyal devotion and bring to thine altar our offering of praise. Our hearts swell within us with joyful emotion as the name of old Brown in loud chorus we raise. The happiest moments of youth's fleeting hours
we pass through the shade of these
time-honored walls, and sorrows as transient as April's brief showers have clouded